Can you hear me? Test. Yes. Sounds okay. Excellent. All right. So let's get this started. So today we are going to be talking about the psychology when it comes to weight loss. Um, Throughout this, I want it to be a discussion, not me talking at you. Um, I think people like Joyce, remember I did this back in the day, not any other people here during that time. Um, but yeah, I want people to ask questions. Um, and like I said, have it become a discussion. Anyone have questions so far? I have to get used to this new software again. Actually, give me 2 seconds. I remember the first time I did this, I like forgot to turn off my speakers outside. So there was a constant feedback and loop, and it just destroyed everybody's ears. All right. Okay. Okay. The psychology of weight loss, presented by Matthew Quigley. Okay. Well, it doesn't have my second slide. So the three the three things that govern our um, hunger are stress, pleasure, and behavior. Stress is probably the biggest one. You know, they're all related. Um, Pleasure governs our kind of hunger because that reduces stress. And when I say behavior, I'm kind of talking about your lifestyle. A lot of this is going to be kind of common sense. Some of it's not, but it helps to go over this stuff because if you're trying to lose weight or if you're trying to maintain, um, you can ascertain exactly kind of what's going through your head or through your body, um, and maybe you can do something about it, and you can figure out, you know, that's why you're feeling that specific way, and you know how to stop it, and eventually you do that enough, you'll start losing weight again. So, number one, stress. Does everybody know what cortisol is? Kind of that hormone that gets released when we're stressed out. Um, when we're continuously stressed, our body goes into something known as survival response. So this is just, our number one instinct is survival. No matter what, we have to survive, and our body will do whatever it has to do for that to happen. Now, a lot of this is inherited from, our ancestors a long, long time ago, where we didn't have this abundance of food. Now, because we have so much food, we can eat until we explode. Back in the day, we had to constantly forage for our food. So it still has that survival mode, wants us to keep as much fat as possible on our body so that it can use it for energy later when we need it. So, when we're stressed out, that's survival mode, and our body wants to hold on to fat. So, in order to counteract that, we need to do stuff consistently in our life to make us feel better, to feel more calm. Obviously, this is easier said than done. But, if you really want to lose weight, these are the steps you have to take in order for that to happen. It's just not going to happen. It's incredibly hard. Any questions so far? I mean, I think a lot of people kind of already know about this. The fact that it's a survival response, I don't think a lot of people know about. But whatever. Yeah, any questions so far? There's about a 10 to 15 second delay on this, so if I don't read your question right away, then I'll get you. All right, well, let's move on. Strategies to reduce stress. Breathing, slowing down, mindfulness. I've done this in the past, and it's something that, in order for it to work, you need to do it every day. I mean, there are times when you just have to, like if you're having a panic attack, something like that, you have to slow down. And that's what breathing does, is it takes your mind off the panic attack and it puts your mind somewhere else where it thinks that it's calm and collected. Mindfulness is keeping yourself in the present situation, keeping yourself in the present. It keeps you from your mind constantly racing, and that's what can bring on stress. Whatever. Everybody knows about that. Let's move on. All right, the next one. Yeah, being mindful is very hard. Just nowadays, there's so much to consistently worry about. Being in the present situation is incredibly hard. It's something that you have to really work at. But in the end, you will be a happier person. In a happier person, you'll have less stress and you will eat better. Just because, what we just went over. The next thing that governs our psychology when it comes to weight loss is pleasure. It's, what we talked about here. That's why I have a picture of a hammock. It's being calm. It's doing things that you enjoy. It's having a hobby. Um, it's it's taking your mind off of everything and reducing that stress. I think something that a lot of people don't know is that the fight or flight response um, stems from the sympathetic nervous system. We want to we want to get out of that situation and we want to switch over to the parasympathetic, which is, the calm mode and everything like that. When we are truly in the moment of eating and tuning into our body, we're much more likely to make food choices that support our health and listen to the cues that tell us we've eaten enough. Um, we've all been there, kind of just sitting on the couch and constantly snacking. Carbs. I mean, carbohydrates are one of the easiest thing to overeat on. We would all be happier on a sunny beach. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Fortunately, that is not life. If it was, I think we'd be a lot more skinny. Huh? Um, so find something that you enjoy. It will make your life 1,000 times easier. One of the biggest things I found with people is their work. They hate what they do. And if you're doing that 8 hours a day, why are you going to want to eat better, lose weight, when you can't stand your life? Um, you know, People have this thing where they're locked into what they do. Um, I've been there. It's uh, it's a miserable existence if you can't. If you're miserable half of your life. So my advice is find something that you do every day. You don't necessarily have to enjoy it, um, but just you should be able to stand it at least. You should want to wake up in the morning. Um, so next, our behavior. This is the last one. Weight loss. Okay, the number one thing for weight loss is changing your lifestyle. Now, changes in your lifestyle lead to less stress and will give you pleasure if you do it correctly. So, what I mean by that is there's also a lot of planning involved, right? If we plan ahead, 2 seconds. So if we plan ahead, I'm talking about meal prepping, limit how often you go out to eat. Um, People always ask me about healthy snacks, stuff like that. You, if you're going on like a vacation, business trip, something like that, you need to plan ahead and bring things that that will help you eat better. Because if you ever get ravenous, where you haven't had something to eat for a long time, you don't care what you put in your body. So that's a big deal. And so when I talk about behavior, that's planning ahead, that's making sure that you're always ready. Okay? Underneath our behaviors are values, feelings, and beliefs. The foundation of our behavior is what we call psychology. If we don't believe that we can actually impact our health in a positive way, healthy behavior will not become a habit because we don't believe it can happen. So we need to figure out ways where we know that we can do it. As soon as we find that catalyst to put us in that direction, the rest will come pretty easily because we know if we stick to the path that we will reach our destination. Yeah, that is the challenge. It can be so easy to backslide. I completely agree. Sometimes we doubt ourselves way too much. And there's so many other people out there that are doing it. Why are you any different? The only difference between you and somebody else that lost 100 pounds is that they believe that they could do it. And they just stuck to it. It takes some of the things that deter from that is not having like a healthy support system at home. That can be really hard. What are some ways to help you get back on track if you fall off track? That is a good question. I mean, kind of biased, but accountability, checking in with somebody, like a personal trainer. I haven't known many people that were just like, oh, I lost 100 pounds all by myself with no help from it. You need help. I mean, if you did it all by yourself, then fantastic. That takes a lot of mental fortitude. But it takes the accountability. That's one of the biggest things that I tell people, especially if you don't know how to do it yourself. The accountability, checking in with somebody every day, making sure that you are sticking to your goals is huge. It's huge. So if you find that you're constantly roller coastering and you can't stick to the plan, go find help. Work with somebody. It's funny how fast you can derail when routines change. Yeah. COVID, I mean, that was so hard because you couldn't leave your house for a few months. What are you supposed to do? Not many people have the mental fortitude to, create a whole workout inside their house and stick to it and work as hard as you kind of need to. How we view ourselves is a big part of that. How can we begin to change that mindset? Like I said, seek help, whether it be from a personal trainer or maybe a therapist. Maybe you believe that you're just a worthless piece of shit. And if you believe like that, why do you care about how your body looks? Or why do you care how you eat? So there's so much. The root of feeling good and having that confidence can stem from a lot of things. I think everybody should see a therapist. I think everybody needs to talk to somebody. It's human nature. So, that's a big part of it. Keep a food diary. It's amazing how fast things add up during the day as you snack and pick. Yes. So when I first work with somebody, that's what I tell people to do. Um, I get so many people that are like, I eat healthy, but I never lose weight, or blah, 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 blah. And it's like, well, do you know exactly what's going into your body? Calorie wise, everything like that. And they're just like, nah, 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 nah. And sometimes they're too lazy to even keep a diary. Um, and then that just comes down to you're not that serious about it. If you really want to lose weight, then you have to work at it. You got to put in some effort, and keeping a diary is part of that. At least for a week or two, so that what you know exactly what's going into your body, right? Um, Even if you do know you can do it, it always helps to be accountable. Yes, I completely agree. Goals are so important. Yep, accountability is key. Um, Honestly, that is probably number one when it comes to weight loss. That's why it's so hard to do it without help, because there's no accountability. But it also has to be done in ways you can maintain. Yes. Um, that's why people come to me all the time with, how do you feel about this diet? How do you feel about that diet? Well, is it sustainable? Um, Keto, is it sustainable? Are you going to stay away from carbs the rest of your life? I don't think so. In order to lose weight, you don't need to do that. Keto, for example, was a huge trendy diet. Now, ask yourself this: is it really about what do they say? Like your body goes into ketosis, where you start using fat as energy as opposed to carbs, and that's what leads to the weight loss. Now, is that the issue, or is it the fact that you're eating a more high protein diet, which fills you up more, um, thus probably taking in fewer calories? Or is it the fact that your body's just in ketosis and it's just burning fat automatically? It's probably more of the latter. No, the one I said before. Um, and it provides structure. Structure is another big thing. I agree. I agree with Tracy regarding goals, but they have to be small, baby steps. Um, yes, baby steps, so you do not get discouraged. Completely agree. If you set your goals too high, you'll get overwhelmed too quickly. It's a proven fact. You have to set little goals throughout the year so that you continuously achieve each one of those goals. As soon as you get to one goal, how's that going to make you feel? Accomplished, happy. That's changing your behavior. It's giving you pleasure, which leads to eating better. I agreed on the food diary. Lots of accountability helps. Yep. The thing I learned is you can't beat yourself up. If you get off track, that's okay. Just get back on the track the next day, accept it, and let it go. Completely agree once again. Uh, I'm sure you hear this a lot. People will have like a donut and they'll be like, oh, there goes my entire day. Let's just eat like shit. Okay, well, now goes your entire day. One thing is it going to make or break your diet. You got to stop with the all or nothing mindset. Um, think more on a macro level when it comes to eating better. When I say that, I mean, think about how you did for the week or month, not just the day. Think how well you did for that month. And with that mindset, one donut isn't going to throw you off. You'll be like, okay, that was one donut. Out of the 2 weeks, I've been eating fantastic. Missing vital nutrients. Yep. I mean, I tell this to everybody, tell this to all my clients. Protein, fiber. Those are the two things that fill you up with the least amount of calories. Um, if you want to boil it down, like I like to ask people, um, what is healthy? What is eating healthy? And that just boils down to eating the most nutrient dense foods with the least amount of calories. That's eating healthy. That's it. I mean, that's all it comes down to. Um, Thomas Donut. Oh my God. Now we got donuts taking over the chat. Yeah, so the final thing, until our feelings and beliefs, our psychology, is in alignment with our desire to feel our best, it's unlikely we'll follow through with our well intentioned health tips. In short, you can do it. Like, how are you any different than all those other people? You know, get that support you need, and do what you gotta do to eventually feel the best that you can. I find if I have a treat every now and then, I do better than denying myself. Yeah, that's completely fine. I mean, Joyce has worked with me forever, so she knows all this. And Joyce actually lost, what was it, 80 pounds? I would love to bring up your before and after, but I don't think you'd like that much. It can be all or nothing, unfortunately. Yes, yeah, it can. Um, and that's just a mindset that you need to change. I think once you start seeing results, that helps you keep on track. Yep, yep. Nah, Joyce, I was kidding, but I mean, you know, like you're the poster child for this. You were, you know, you were up there in weight, and you decided to do something about it. And I was there with you for a lot of it. And you, and I bet you're a lot happier person because of it. You think you'd ever be going 10 rounds boxing? No. Doing box jumps? No. That's crazy. Yeah, but like I said, how much more happy are you now with yourself than you were before? Because you accomplished such a terrific thing. Because everybody knows how much work goes into something like, you know? It's more than just eating healthy. It's changing your brain. It's changing how you perceive everything. And that's really hard to do. Unfortunately, the older we get, since our brain just starts, creatures are, you know, no, humans are creatures of habit, and we fall into those habits way too easily. And nowadays, I mean, another one of the biggest thing is that like it's so much easier to get food that is bad for you than food that's good for you. Just and people are gonna always want to take that easy route, which I mean, yeah, I mean it's human nature. We just have to fix that. You know? I think we have a great opportunity to support each other and build a great support system with one another. Yep, yep. I mean, that's why everybody needs support. When, I mean, okay, so we're social creatures, you know? And when we don't have that social aspect in our lives, it's very unhealthy. It's very unhealthy. And by supporting one another in whatever struggles we're going through, by going to meetings like AA or Weight Watchers is fantastic. Um, as long as you can see that there are other people in your situation and that you can help one another out, it becomes 1,000 times easier. What about sleep? Doesn't negative things happen when we don't sleep? Well, like with hormones or something. Yes. So sleep is, yeah, incredibly. I'm sure you've heard this a million times. Sleep is incredibly important. Um, if you don't get enough sleep, there are hormonal changes. You crave sugar a lot more. And as you know, uh, you can easily overeat on sugar. Um, but not getting enough sleep, you don't have enough energy throughout the day. And when you don't have enough energy throughout the day, you move less. Um, and that directly correlates with burning calories. It's a chain effect. I tend to be hungry when I don't sleep. Yeah, Shayna, that's a very common physical response to not getting enough sleep. Um, your body craves different things because it needs different things to make up for what's missing. That's why we have a secret crew. Yes. Having that support also helps with accountability. Yep. I have such a hard time sleeping. Yeah, I mean, so that comes down to, what we talked about pleasure and mindfulness. I started doing an app a long time ago where I was having trouble sleeping. Um, and I didn't really stick with it, which I should have. Um, but I can tell it helped. It helped. And if I continued to do it and it became common everyday routine, then I think it would have helped a lot. What it really comes down to is like, you just got to be dedicated. And once again, you got to know it's going to work. So, just like with trying to lose weight, if in the back of your head you don't think it's going to work, then you're not going to take the time and the effort to do it. Healthy digestive system is also a big issue for my. Are you saying like your like gut biome, like because that can have a lot to do with a lot of things. I feel I only want to eat 1 to 2 meals a day. Suggestions. Does that work for you? It doesn't matter how often you eat. I'm sure you've heard that myth that it should be 6 small meals a day, when in fact, that's not the case. It's what works for you. Um, so, if you're feeling that doesn't work for you, then yeah, you got to change that. Now, there could be many issues with the 1 to 2 meals a day that you eat. You're probably gonna binge in a lot of those meals. So as long as you look at healthy alternatives, you'll get there. You will get there. Um, uh, yes, my BMs. I don't know what that means. That took me a long time, by the way. It shouldn't have taken me as long as that did. I feel like I'm back in like high school or something. Oh, um, yeah, you're talking about like you have a stomach issue. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know really much about that. They say breakfast is the most important meal to start your day off with. That doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's different for everybody. Um, Now, if you're trying to lose weight and that's how you do things, once again, it's what works for you. Just because you're not eating a very large breakfast for the first meal doesn't mean that's what's holding you back from losing weight. Sure, Katie. Eating multiple small meals increases metabolism. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. I mean, think about what is your metabolism? It's the processes of your cells, and it's pretty much your energy levels. Now, what's the difference between 6 small meals or 3 larger meals? I think just because you're constantly trying to digest those small meals throughout the day, that's going to increase your metabolism to the point where you're losing tens of pounds? No. That's a very common myth. It's a very common myth. And I've heard that 100 times. And nutrition science changes every day because, to be honest, we don't know that much about it. It's still very young, unlike a lot of other sciences out there. Same with exercise science. People are constantly figure out new things every day. All right. Any other questions for me? And did we find this helpful? So, I want some people to throw out some topics. Throw out some topics that you would want to discuss next time. And I'll take those into consideration. Preferably something that you don't know a lot about, or something you'd really like to learn a lot about. I have a couple of things in mind, but we'll see. Throw out some topics. And did anyone learn anything new, by the way? I would love to know that too. Okay. Don't concern the scale, look at the centimeters. Yeah. Um, Body fat percentage is the number one thing to look out for when it comes to your health. The scale doesn't matter that much. I mean, there is a correlation, but it's all about your body fat percentage. The higher that is, the less healthy you are considered to be. So it's not all about the scale. Calories in versus calories out. So Tracy, is that a topic that you wanted to discuss, or what? Because as far as that goes, um, pretty cut and dry. Everything boils down to calories in versus calories out. It's not nearly that simple, but in a vacuum, that's what weight loss is. So, calories, like fat on your body, is extra energy. So, we get fat when we don't use that energy. If we use more energy than we take in throughout the day, your body will go to the fat for what it needs. That's that's losing weight. Um, so yeah, that's all calories in versus calories out. Like I said, it's not it's not that cut and dry, but that's why we talked about the psychology today. How do you figure out body fat percentage that is not BMI correct? Are you saying how do you figure out body fat percentage? What's happening Thursday, Katie? Yes, how sleep ties into overall being. Okay. Yeah, I mean that's a good topic. There's so much stuff out there about sleep and how important it is. I guess it doesn't necessarily have to be about weight loss, but yeah, we can go over that. Yes, that is not the same as BMI. Okay, so who here is confused about BMI? Because I feel like a lot of people are, and that's understandable because that's all kind of your doctor uses. Um, when in fact, that's not really how it should be. they should be able to determine your body fat percentage to see how healthy you are. Unfortunately, in order to figure out your body fat percentage accurately, you need very expensive pieces of equipment, like a water displacement tank. The things that you hold in your hands are like calipers, are incredibly erratic. Not many people know that. So, like, calipers, for instance, are extremely open to human error. It's so hard to do that stuff correctly. Now, the biometric scanning, like the metal plates that you stand on or the things that you hold, are once again incredibly open to different variables that influence the readings. So it could say your body fat percentage is a lot lower or higher depended just on how hydrated you are at that specific moment. If you just ate a big meal, that influences it as well. There's tons of stuff out there that you have to stay away from or add for it to actually give you somewhat of a accurate reading. I joined late. How about a future topic on staying hydrated? How much is it enough? Is it related to your weight, stature, set amount? Yeah. I forget the formula. Maybe half your weight in ounces a day? And that? Yeah. No. There's no equation to figure out your body fat. No. What's a great topic, Tracy? Which one were we talking about? Yeah, Annette, I think it's half your body weight in ounces. Let me Google that real quick. How much water should you? So I don't trust a lot of these sites. They can be very outdated. I'm sure you've heard the whole 8 glasses a day. That's not right. Okay. Yeah, I mean I'm reading different things here. Some are saying 6 to 8 glasses. Some are saying 2 liters or half a gallon a day. I feel it would really have to do with your body mass because different um, bigger bodies would need more water. So I would go. I mean, if you drink half a gallon a day, you're doing great. So maybe just stick with that. I used to get excited when I would lose weight so I wouldn't have to drink so much water. Yeah, I mean, ideally, when it comes to a healthy diet, I don't like saying diet, but like a healthy lifestyle, all our body needs to drink is water. Like, we don't need all that other crap. And the more hydrated you are, you will, a lot of the times your body will mistake hunger for thirst or vice versa. When you're constantly drinking water, you're a lot more likely to take in fewer calories. From a urologist, I was told 64 ounces a day. I mean, that's around, um, that seems legit. I forget. How many ounces are in a liter? Okay, 33. So that's correct. So your urologist was right on the money. Just so we're clear, not vodka. Ha ha. No. The BMI discussion guy mentioned before. What do you mean, Trace? What about it? Not sure, but 64 ounces a friggin' lot. Yeah. Um, uh, if you're not used to it, it could be a lot. Um, it, you can't if you haven't been doing it, it's tough to just dive right into because I guarantee you though, if you do that every day, you will lose weight. Just because you're gonna be so full from the water that you're not gonna eat as much as you were previously, like on a daily basis. All right. So I don't think we came to a clear consensus on a topic. So there were some good ideas, but uh, yeah, but Katie, sometimes they would replace so like an actual cup, like a real measurement. Yeah, that's fine. But like people used to say glasses. All glasses are different. Want to multiply your weight by 2/3 to say multiply that by 2/3 and where did you hear that? I've never heard that before. What about what about going over the best ways to exercise? Why? I feel like here Trace. I feel like there's a lot of confusion about say you have limited time, what should you do to to make the most of out of that time? Um, in that discussion, we can talk about exactly how muscles are formed, what you need to do, how to make the most of your time when you work out. Um, we can talk about nutritional things that you need to do in order to build muscle. I feel like that topic is pretty broad and there's a lot to talk about. Anyways, okay. All right, Mary. Thanks. Yeah, I think we might do that. All right. That's it for me. That was a good hour conversation. I'm gonna. So I think we might keep it at 8 again on Tuesday. I don't really want to because I know that's late for people. But um, this is being recorded, so I can always just leave the video on Feeling the Burn, something like that, and then people can get back to it. All right. That's it for me. Thanks everybody that showed up. Not a bad turnout. About 10 people or so. I didn't really do the things that you should do to lead up to an event properly, but live and you learn. I don't do these too often, so all right. Thank you guys.